One thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from.
I hope you hear me. Since I've lost you, I'm lost too. Nigga feeling like he at the bottom like a horseshoe. Sorry for the trouble that I put you in your heart through. God knows that I do anything for a part two. Ought to be praying for the day you come back to me, saying that you forgive me. Give me another chance, I'm needing it like a kidney. I don't wanna advance, give me back her hands, give me back her touch. I don't ask.
Hello?
Hello, Sydney. Remember me?
What do you want?
I want you. It's showtime.
Police are everywhere.
There is some freaked out psycho trying to follow in Billy Loomis's footsteps. You probably already know.
What's going on, YouTube? We back in the Low Key Cave, Keyshawn Niles YouTube page, aka Mr. Low Key, and we are back with another retro movie review, and we are doing Scream 2 that came out in 1997, directed by Wes Craven and written by Kevin Williamson. The main reason I'm doing this retro review is because we got the new Scream that's coming out this month, if I'm not mistaken, January 14th. RIP to the great Wes Craven. Man, the legacy he left behind with some of these movies that introducing this type of horror, even with the Nightmare on Elm Street, and coming off of that and coming to something with diving into dreams and coming to a movie like Scream 2 where he pretty much redefined slashes all over again as far as introducing somebody calling and asking people questions about horror movies or whatnot. And if you ain't get them right, basically gonna kill your ass, and they was gonna probably try to kill you regardless. But anyway, this out of the franchise, as far as the four we do have as of right now, this is my favorite one. I had the privilege of being able at a young age to go see this at the movie theaters. A lot of movies I got to go see at the theaters that are a lot of big movies out there, but I was huge fan of Scream, especially watching the first one. I got a chance to watch a bootleg version of the first one. I think that was early days. That was on a VHS tape. I remember this. But like I said, out of the four, this is definitely my favorite one. I was really hyped off this going in to see this because of JADAPINKETT, and I didn't even know Omar Epps was in this at first. I can't remember the trailers if they showed him, but I remember JADAPINKETT being here. I was a huge fan of JADAPINKETT. And speaking of JADAPINKETT, at the time when this movie came out, you had a superstar JADAPINKETT at the time. And I think we have to remember that Wes Craven, he really liked to throw big names into the movies as far as Scream franchise, the same way he did with Drew Barrymore. But I remember the promotion at the time. It was more magazines at that time, and they was promoting Jada as a main character. But the Wes Craven, of course, was doing that on purpose at the time to throw the audience off. And back then, you couldn't really keep things under wraps. I mean, you could keep things under wraps more back then, but today you got numerous leaks. And that's one of the reasons why I think they've done certain things like shoot multiple scenes, especially with this recent Scream, because I've been telling people I think the trailer is definitely a manipulation as far as the newer trailer for the newer Scream movie that's coming out this month. But as far as that grand opening that he did with Drew Barrymore, it was similar to this one. I even love how Omar Epps and JADAPINKETT's characters are talking about how black people are stereotyped in horror movies, how they always killed off first, and just so happened that they end up getting killed first in the movie, which I think Wes Craven them did on purpose, intentionally, because, you know, the whole stereotype thing. But at the time, like I said, it was a lot of promotion behind this, and of course, this coming off of a big movie like Scream, and then going into the sequel and trying to live up to that movie. You had JADAPINKETT, you had images of her in scenes with Neve Campbell Sidney. You had her in images with different her on the phone, like she had been talking to the killer or whatnot. It was a lot of promotion making it seem like she was going to be a main character. And then when the movie comes on at the beginning, you like, oh shit, boom, she died, she ended up being killed. So that's one of the things about Scream as far as this one that I really liked and that I didn't like, because I did come into this wanting to see JADAPINKETT, you know what I'm saying, all through. I didn't necessarily have to, she didn't have to live throughout the movie, but I wanted to see her more than the beginning. But at the same time, I appreciate Wes Craven doing that and throwing us off, because we like, okay, now I don't know what's coming. Pretty much like he did with the first one and doing what he did with Drew Barrymore. But as far as Scream 2 plot-wise, you pretty much have, once again, Directed by, like I said, Wes Craven, and written by Kevin Williamson. Sidney, Dewey, Randy, and Gail return, and a new killer or killers start terrorizing Sidney and her friends on the college campus. And you have a lot going on with this one, not pertaining that it's being predominantly on the college campus. And I'm not sure, I forgot, was this in Woodsboro still, or was this like in another part? Because I can't remember, but I'm thinking this was still in Woodsboro, but she was at college or whatnot. But like I said, this is definitely one of my favorite ones. And even at the beginning with them playing the whole stab movie and the gimmick behind them doing a movie based on the movie that we had seen as far as the first Scream or whatnot, I really enjoyed that. And that's why I feel like Scream and what they were doing as far as the franchise and what they did with the sequels after that, especially Scream 3, they kind of dropped that ball on that, man, because they could have done a lot of good things with that. And even with Scream 4, I enjoyed somewhat what they did with that beginning, but it's like what they did with Scream 4 as far as the beginning, that was something you enjoyed it for that one time. And when you watch it the second time, it's kind of like, it's more of a spoof than anything. It's not really something that's like, oh, this is effective right here. But as far as Scream 2, cast-wise, of course, we still have our original characters. We have Neve Campbell playing Sidney. We have Courtney Cox playing Gail. We have David Arquette playing Dewey. And we have Jamie Kennedy coming back playing Randy from the first movie. And one of the things I really enjoyed about this is, of course, and this is spoiler talks. We doing spoilers. This came out in 1997. I know everybody done seen Scream 2. One of the things I really enjoyed about this is the deaths and the brutality at moments of the deaths in this movie. And I really didn't see certain scenes coming, especially the death of Randy. That one really took me off guard because he this main character, and we kind of get these sequels sometimes, especially the horror movies, where our main characters are mainly going to make it to the end, more than likely. And the thing Scream really did, and what I enjoyed about Scream, was none of these characters was really safe. Even the whole fake out with Dewey and him getting stabbed in the back, in that scene towards the end, it was like, oh, sit down and kill Dewey too. And it's like you kind of get took off guard because you kind of surprised. Because to me, I enjoyed the way they took out Randy. To me, it was kind of shocking, and at the same time, it was brutal because she gets stabbed the shit out of Randy. And even when they opened the door, he all bloodied up, his face looked like it's all cut up or whatnot. So that's one of the things I really enjoyed about Scream 2 as far as making it feel like no main character was safe from the first one. I really enjoyed that, even though they did the fake out with Dewey and all of that. But new cast members. We have Jerry O'Connell. I don't forget him. And we have young Timothy O'Fleck. I think that's his name. Of course, he way a lot bigger now. He been in a lot of things. Been in Justified. Been in a lot of big major movies. But this is his early days. He plays Mickey, of course. And we got, I forget my girl's name, Elise O'Neill. I think her name Elise O'Neill. She plays Sidney's friend. I can't remember her main character's name. But anyway, this is pretty much your new cast members. Some of the bigger names that they did throw in here, but they wasn't really in here alone, of course, was Sarah Michelle Gellar, and you had Joshua Jackson. And Joshua Jackson, of course, in those early days, in those 90s, you had Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and you had Dawson's Creek. And at the time, I didn't even know that Kevin Williams had did Dawson's Creek too. But anyway, they was two big names at the time. I mean, I feel like at the time, Jada Pinkett was the biggest name at the time. Of course, Jada Pinkett was a superstar at that time. You're talking about her coming off Menace to Society and coming off of Set It Off, and even Omar Epps. He was coming off Higher Learning, Juice. He had some other movies he had just done. I think he did a baseball movie or something, and he did a football movie. But yeah, early 90s, these was the way bigger names. But as far as Sarah Michelle Gellar and Joshua Jackson, they were more big names in TV because they had really big shows out at the time. But other than that, like I said, I really enjoyed this cast. And even with the names they brung in, as far as Sarah Michelle Gellar, she was one of the people they ended up killing off. They killed her kind of in a brutal way, stabbing her and throwing her off the damn roof. So those are some of the aspects of this movie I really enjoyed, as far as not just having a real enjoyable and shocking opening, but having certain characters that you thought you was going to see all the way throughout the movie getting knocked off. And I mean getting knocked off left and right. Those was really a lot of moments that I ended up enjoying. But other than that, the reveals, and as far as the killers we had in here, I did not, and I guess I want to talk about Billy's mom. Not only getting the reveal that this was Billy's mom, as far as Sidney's boyfriend from the first movie, you know, the reveal he was the killer and his friend or whatnot, as far as him and, damn, I can't remember what buddy's name, but Billy's mom, she walking around playing this whole reporter role or whatnot, and it really, to me, honestly, threw me off, and I did not see the killers coming, especially Billy's mom as the reporter. She blended in so good, and it almost didn't pay her attention, and even at the end, the fake-out reveal when Gail, you remember when Gail first walks out on the theater stage or whatnot, and it kind of making it seem like, oh, Gail is the killer, but then she just pops out, and I really enjoyed that scene and that reveal. I really did enjoy that, and even her explanation, it made, I mean, in a crazy way, and of course to a crazy person, it made sense to, and her motivation for why she was doing what she was doing. As far as Mickey, I feel like on the other hand, it gives all type of clues. He gives all type of clues to him being the killer throughout the movie, especially with him being a big fan of sequels and the scene where they are in the film class and he's talking about blaming movies for people killing. He's always giving you hints that he was one or the killer, and he even at times is trying to throw hints to Sidney like, yo, you need to check your boyfriend. Like, why would he even go back in the house? Like, he be throwing these little moments out there and certain things trying to hint towards other people being the killer, even though he was the one the whole time.
Let me tell you about reality, Mickey. I lived through this, okay? Life is life. It doesn't imitate anything.
Come on, Randy. With all due respect, the killer obviously patterned himself after two serial killers who have been immortalized on film.
Thank you.
Right. Are you suggesting that someone's trying to make a real-life sequel?
Stab 2? Who'd want to do that? Sequels suck.
No, wow. Come on, man.
Oh, please, please. By definition alone, they're inferior films.
It's bullshit generalization. Many sequels have surpassed their original.
Oh, yeah?
Name one.
Yeah.
Aliens. Far better than...
That and that film class scene, one of the best scenes in the movie as far as where they discussing the sequels, while we as an audience are watching a sequel, and the fact that this sequel is trying to best the first movie as far as the first screen, to me that's similar to the movies they mentioned like Aliens, Godfather Part 2, and Terminator 2, because these are sequels that to some people and to even to me are superior to the original movie, and that's why Scream 2 to me is superior to the first movie. And I know a lot of people opinion it's not, because like I said, that first Scream redefined slashers all over again. But for me, I just enjoyed the characters a lot more in this one. I enjoyed following the story a lot more, and like I said, I think what it was is that I recognized so many different faces as far as those early like Sarah Michelle Gellar and them I was naming Joshua Jackson, but like I said, Jada Pinkett, of course, being one of the main people, Omar Epps and them, because in that first Scream, I really didn't know who Drew Barrymore was at the time. I was very young at that time, but she was a superstar at that time, but I didn't recognize her as that. But going into this one, I recognize people a lot more. So I think that's another reason why I enjoy this a lot more now. Shout out to, I forgot to put him on here, but Dwayne Martin. You don't know who Dwayne Martin is. He's Above the Rim. He was another 90s person who was in a lot of those black 90s movies early on, and they had him in here, and I love him as a character in here. He's that character that was the cameraman to Gail, pretty much telling her, look, I gotta go, I'm out of here, I ain't supposed to be trying to film no murders or whatnot. He was definitely one of my favorite characters in the movie, and he in here pretty good throughout the movie. And when I first watched it, I felt like he wasn't in here as much, but he is pretty much in here, because I mean, damn, we had to get one black character to live because they ended up killing Sidney's roommate or whatnot, Elise Neal's character, so she was already out of here. But overall, man, I feel like Scream 2 was a superior sequel to the original movie. Like I said, I enjoyed the reveal of the killers a lot more, because watching that first Scream, I guess the first time watching it, you just so involved with what they doing as far as the whole slash and who is the killer or whatnot. But if you really watch it, you can kind of tell both of these niggas is crazy and they the killer. Like, you straight up, because even with the second viewing I watched Scream, and I remember this, I'm like, okay, they giving all the hints that they are the killers. Billy was all, like, he just looked like he wasn't all the way there all together. And even when they did the whole thing with when he got arrested in the first one and they got the killer calling Sidney trying to make it seem like he wasn't really the killer, it's like, okay, it's two killers. It's two killers, and he still could be one of them. And he got his person on the outside doing what he doing. But overall, like I said, as far as Scream 2, I really do really feel like the reveal as far as Billy's mom was one of the best reveals they've had as far as the Scream franchise, because like I said, she blended in so good as a reporter. She felt like she was just all about the story, and the way even her, you know how her and Gail was doing what they was doing, and the way she seemed like she looked up to Gail or whatnot, she blended in really good, man. So her reveal was more than anything the best reveal to me. And like I said, Mickey, I guess when the first time you watching it, he not really giving you that thing of saying, okay, he is the killer, but he is the suspect though. You can feel like he one of the suspects. But a second viewing, third viewing, or whatnot, you see it all around like, okay, yeah, he definitely was the second killer or whatnot, or the killer. But overall, like I said, I really enjoyed the cast. I feel like the return of all these characters did a great job. In the when they took out Randy, I feel like that was one of the great shocks and great execution, because I feel like it was a brutal kill the first time I watched it. Like second time, if like even that knife scene, she going all slow, stabbing him or whatnot, but it's still, to me, it is an effective scene. But like I said, even with the new cast, you really can't put your finger on who you think is the killer, because they even giving the hints to Sydney's boyfriend, even though I feel like they wasn't going to go that same route again. But like I said, they was giving hints that maybe Randy wanted to be the killer this time. And coming off the first one, he maybe done lost it or whatnot, and he's so obsessed over Sydney or whatnot. But they did a lot of great things as far as trying to throw you here and there, as far as who you thought the killer was, who you didn't think the killer was. But overall, I enjoyed what they did with this. And even with Cotton, my bad, he in the background right here, y'all see him in the back. As far as I forgot his name, but Cotton, him being one of the people that you thought was a killer, and him trying to get back at Sydney because of him being accused in the first movie of killing her mama or whatnot. So like I said, to me, Kevin Williams was really in his prime right in this movie. I feel like he definitely wanted to up himself as far as the first one. So that's one of the reasons I really enjoy this overall. And like I said, those reveals of the killers, the killing in here as far as people and the way they was getting killed and stabbed or whatnot, I feel like it was some of the most brutal ones in the Scream franchise. And like I said, you can't have a Scream franchise if it ain't people getting stabbed. That's what the movie's about. But anyway, overall, I think this is the best one out of the franchise so far. It's depending on what this new one gonna be as far as January 14th, as far as the new Scream that's coming out. And like I said, that's not even directed by Wes Craven. Of course, the great Wes Craven did pass away. R.I.P. to the great Wes Craven. And if I'm not mistaken, this is not written by Kevin Williamson, but Kevin Williamson is the producing the new Scream that's coming out this month. But as far as I know, it's supposed to be directed by some other people. And as far as I know, the people who are supposed to be directing it are behind Ready or Not. I don't know if it's all of them, because I've been hearing it. I just know I'm ready for it. If I'm not mistaken, the name of these directors are Radio Silence or something like that. Let me know in the comment section if I'm wrong. Either way, I'm really looking forward to this. I feel like they're going to do something different. I feel like we're not getting anything out of that trailer. I feel like it's throwing us off. But I'm really looking forward to it. Other than that, man, I just wanted to come back and go back in time and do a retro review of one of my favorite horror movies, my favorite slashers. But not only that, one of my favorite movies out of a trilogy as far as Scream 2. This is, to me, the best one. Y'all let me know in the comment section, do y'all feel like it's the Scream, the first one, or Scream 3 or Scream 4? Do y'all feel like them are better than this one? Let me know in the comment section. And why y'all feel that way? Let me know in the comment section, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. This is the road to 400 subs. Shout out to everybody who's been checking out my videos and taking the time just to check me out. Like I said, y'all don't have to do that, but I really appreciate that y'all are doing it. That's all the support I need. You hitting that like button, you leaving a comment, and like I said, subscribing. Other than that, man, I appreciate everybody that's been checking me out, man.
What's next?
I'm not interrupting anything, am I?
See me smile at the actual situation. And because they can sense that I'm not afraid of it, yeah, it's only because of my experience prior to it.